Hey guys, so we are back in the Boom Boom Room after so long, and I have gotten so many, I don't say requests, but just curiosity of what we thought about Halloween Ends. Now, we're expanding to TikTok. Obviously, there's a lot of videos on there that we have put out there. This is going to be a little too long. We cannot put this on TikTok. We got to get really in detail when it comes to our review of Halloween Ends. So thank you for your patience. Here we go. Halloween Ends is the final film in the David Gordon Green trilogy, legacy sequel trilogy. It's the last one.
Sequel trilogy when it technically skips all the other films. It's a
legacy sequel trilogy.
It's the most complicated thing because basically it's like it discounts all the other ones. It only acknowledges one.
I know. It's still a legacy sequel trilogy.
Quadrilogy. It's a quadrilogy. It's the continuing pieces of quadrilogy. That's very true.
It would be considered a quadrilogy. But anyway, either way, this is the last one, and it was marketed as one thing. What you got was completely something different. So with that, we are going to break down this movie from the goods and the bads of the film.
Trust me, you want us to start with the goods.
What is gonna outweigh what? Let me think. But let's go ahead and start with the goods. Terrence, what are the goods of Halloween Ends?
All right, so I will say that the goods of this film, and obviously we're in spoiler territory, so I don't have to worry about this. So the goods of this film is the simple fact that they chose to do something different. They chose to do something different in a sense, different for Halloween, but not different for other horror films. They chose to do something different as opposed to really, in a sense, not really harping on the fact that like, hey, he's a supernatural creature and he can't die, blah, blah, blah. They kind of just do away with him. And they kind of make sure they move the story forward and say, like, this is his legacy. This is how the town's affected. This is how somebody can become him. How somebody can be. This is a man falling down, and it's like this is this is Michael Myers falling down. This is how you can become a psychopathic killer with the influences of a town that can be prejudiced, or not right prejudiced, but can be judgmental.
Yeah,
that's a
good word.
Yeah, exactly. That's a better word I want to use for it. That can be judgmental. That can have their biases about people and push them to the thing that they were already saying that you were. Right? I like that fact, and I was like, okay, cool. That's something different. I was going to talk about in the bads. I was on board with this portion of it. Even though it's not what I wanted them to do in a film that was marketed as the end of this trilogy and the end of Michael Myers, I did understand that, hey, we can end Michael Myers in this film and still continue on this franchise, but just doing something that it'd be the curse of Michael Myers. That movie sucked, but this could be the new curse of Michael Myers, but in a literal sense. Like his influence has now cursed the people around him. I like that aspect. I was really on board with it, even though, once again, I did not like that this film was marketed as something else, but I was on board with that. It a la gives me Freddy's Revenge, where Freddy was dead, he couldn't come back, he didn't have a form, so he kind of acted through somebody else. Their way was better than what they did with this. But I still like that they were kind of going, because once again, Freddy's Revenge is one of my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street films. So when you give me something that kind of like goes in that same format, I'm going to be on board with that. I like the journey of this guy, even though I felt like it was very evident from the very beginning that like he went from this to this. Oh yeah, we definitely know where he's going to go. We saw the journey ahead of time. He's like basically could have wrote me signs and say, hey, this is where we're trying to get to, and we just watched him walk that way. But I do like the fact that they didn't go from like, hey, I'm a good kid and now I'm a psycho murderer. They did kind of show a journey of where he was going. I did like that. The kills, when they got to them, were brutal. Were absolutely brutal. I mean, it's like, it was some stuff that was like, oh man, we're going old school now. We're going old school. We weren't going like this generation of kills and psychopath and serial killers and stuff like that. It's like, we're going old school, like people being crushed and mutilated and just like, ooh, God, make it cringe and kind of like, I felt that. I was really on board with that. those were my goods.
All right.
Those are my goods in this film. I got a lot of things around all of these things that I said were happening. It was like you had me and then you lost me.
All right. Well, my goods was, first of all, let's talk about the prologue. The prologue to the movie was jaw-dropping.
Oh my God! It was Scream-esque.
It was very exactly. But it was very jaw-dropping, and you just didn't know what to expect from that. So that was a complete shock of that. The whole beginning of the film. So, I got a chance. I mean, you kind of get an idea, like, of what is gonna happen. Is it gonna be related to Michael Myers, or is this just going to be the cursed Haddonfield that, can't get away from this kind of bad things happening in their town?
I like that aspect of it.
That's what I'm saying. That, so yeah, I like that. I like the risk that they took. They were bold, and I really did enjoy that they took the risk
killing
on that.
a kid.
I know.
Oh my God.
Well, what other Halloween movie killed a kid?
Was the little girl, right? Yeah.
Halloween 3.
Yeah, okay.
No, Halloween 3. The kid puts the mask on. He watches the thing, and
Halloween
snakes come out of his head.
I'm thinking about the little girl who they were trying to show. That was the other thing about this, where like it showed like, oh, maybe they're gonna, because they brought back Halloween 3 and Halloween Kills, where like they brought back that reference, and I was like, oh, he's the new version of the little girl taking over, right?
So. That's a very good point. I did not think about that. But, and that was another thing, is how past films were honored. So you have a completely obvious homage to Christine, and the gradual process as far as Arnie Cunningham, because that's the character's name in Christine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's Cunningham also. That's what's funny about this. But you see how he gradually goes from nerd, bullied, to what he becomes after Christine takes a hold of him.
Right.
In this case, what Corey gets, what he gets, what he's influenced by, and how that's going to change him, like you said, from a good kid to what he turns into. Okay, so the homage to Christine, I love it. The homage to Halloween 3, also very bold decision, because Halloween 3 had nothing to do with Michael Myers. And this film also has nothing to do with Michael Myers for the most part. So in that sense,
which I would have been okay with.
Okay, hold on. So in that sense, honoring that past, I love it. It's fantastic. Not the time to do it, but I'll get to that in the bads. Anyway, the kills were magnificent. Yes. They were fan-fucking-tastic. I love the kills in this movie. The blowtorch to the mouth.
Oh my God.
You know what that reminded me of? Because this is another film that I think, had a little bit of inspiration, and that was Friday the 13th Part 5. Now, the excuse on that was that Jason was dead. Freddy's Revenge? Freddy is dead. Michael's very much alive in this and had no business. Anyway, so
we're not on that yet.
But it was very reminiscent of the flare in the mouth of Friday the 13th Part 5. Yeah. So that's what I got from that kill. I loved it. Obviously, the callback with the sticking the knife through the wall, having them hang, that was obviously a callback to 78. So the kills were fantastic. The DJ kill was probably my favorite. It was absolutely brutal and amazing. So yeah, the kills were fantastic. It was a Halloween film. That's what I really wanted to see, and it gave it to you. Gave you 13. It gave you a 13 body count. Michael only did 2. Anyway, so and then obviously Jamie Lee Curtis's performance was freaking fantastic in this. She is amazing in this movie. I loved how there is a equal balance of forgiveness, of progress, of healing, but at the same time, all of that preparation that she had in the 40 years leading up to 18 still was there. She was still a freaking smartass. She was still kicking ass. She still had that instinct to freaking get even when she slashed those tires. You gonna do it, or am I gonna do it? That line was fantastic. So, and her explanation to Corey about evil and talking about the evil within, and that's the most dangerous kind. Dialogue like that I was into. So I did like that about the movie. Okay. Yes, and now I'm salivating here, and so are you. So let's get to it. All right, let's get the bads. What do you got?
Oh my God. Okay, so this movie for me couldn't figure out what it wanted to be.
Okay.
We already brought up a couple things. We brought up Freddy's Revenge. We brought up, like it's
Christine.
It's references to other Halloween films. Hell, I say it references Drive. Like, hey, I'm so infatuated with obviously somebody who's psychotic, and then there drives on the street where it's just them, and they're just kind of like, she has like all this whole love, and you can see the the craziness in his face, kind of like how Ryan Gosling was when he was driving with the single mother.
I got you.
You know, it's like, and he's just kind of like one wording, not really having much dialogue. I really got a big Drive.
It was a jacket.
Yeah, it was a jacket.
I'm telling you.
You just need a scorpion on that.
You just need the jacket.
Anyway. So I mean, like, I really hated that this film couldn't figure out what it wanted to be. Obviously, the person who wrote this film was a big fan of horror films, and he tried to mesh in as much as he possibly could, or a big fan of Halloween and tried to mesh in as much as he could into this particular film. So I felt a little disjointed when watching it. It became like a romance film, it was a tragic love story for the two. But then it just kept throwing Michael Myers back into the damn movie. If you want to go that route, then make it about that. Stop giving me Michael Myers. I thought, hey.
Did you just say stop giving me Michael Myers?
No. For the context of where they were going in this movie.
Okay.
Stop giving me Michael Myers, because what I thought, like I said, I thought this was maybe like a Michael Myers curse. I thought, he's imagining all this bullshit. This is Fight Club. This is not really going on. This is the curse of Michael Myers, because he's been driven to this level of psychoticness. And it's like, this is, so the town has been afraid of Michael Myers. He's seen Michael Myers because it's helping him become Michael Myers. And then they went and made Michael Myers real. They made Michael Myers real. No, they could have done from the very beginning, just say, hey, it lingers out there. We don't know what happened to him. It's, what did they say, 4 years, 10 years? 4 years, right? What has he been eating in the sewer?
Rats.
He's been eating rats in the sewer?
Yeah.
You just made that up? Because that was never said in the movie.
No, but there's rats all over the fucking place.
Hey, homeless live in the sewer too, and they don't eat rats?
Well, then the fucking homeless hooked them up.
Hey, Michael, you want to try some of this? But it was, that's where I really, so my whole point was that, like, hey, and I said it multiple times through the movie, I will be okay with this movie if they don't tell me Michael Myers is really there. If they just say that he's imagining this,
that's
because
the worst fucking movie.
No, the worst movie is that, hey, I'm being driven to be this psychotic murderer, and then Michael Myers is coming over and finishing off my kills for me every damn time. Dude, this felt like
Batman and Robin?
Freddy's versus Jason.
Kill for me.
Yeah, kill for me. Exactly. And he was like, you won't do this anymore for me. I'm gonna kill you now, right? So it was like, it felt stupid. That's
exactly what I thought too when I saw that.
It felt stupid.
I've been away from my children for far too long.
I was so, it's like, I need you to go out there and make them scared again. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like,
oh, what did he say? I'm still weak. I might as well let Jason have a little bit more fun.
So it was one of those things where it's like, if Jason wanted to kill, why wasn't he killing?
Well, he disguised himself as his mom to tell him to kill on Elm Street, because they've been very bad on Elm Street. All right.
So it didn't make any sense for me for him to, like, if he had never stumbled across him in the sewer, would Jason have just stayed there? Would Michael have just stayed there? Eating your rats? Would he have just stayed down there and done nothing?
I don't know.
Exactly!
But at the same time...
So he stumbles across him, and then they have this heart-to-heart conversation in the sewers.
But at the same time, that happened on October 30th. It wasn't Halloween yet, so...
He's waiting for Halloween.
Maybe.
So then it makes the whole point of this story, this tragic love story, his journey into, like...
madness.
Pointless!
I agree.
It's the most pointless thing I'd ever watch, because ultimately it still came down to Jamie Lee Curtis versus Michael Myers. That's all it ever came down to. And if that's the case, you don't need him. You make Michael go back out there and kill again. And then there's like, oh, I'm trying to figure this out. It made her the whole daughter story, and it was like, it was exhausting. It was exhausting for me. And I got done when I was like, and then the very end. The funeral service, the procession that they had to have. No, you just leave it and the running them through the grinder. This was, once again, Freddy versus Jason. It was like, they're telling the fans, like, oh no, we're going to make sure he can't come back when they blew Jason up.
Oh, in Freddy versus, I mean, in
no, Jason Goes to Hell. Sorry.
Jason Goes to Hell. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Final Friday.
Yeah, Final Friday. Jason Goes to Hell. It was kind of one of those things. They were literally, as much as serious as they were trying to make this movie was, they were literally talking to the audience who were like, oh no, we're gonna put him in a trash compactor or the car crusher, and then we're gonna grind him up, and then we're gonna like roll his body through the town. I was like, this is dumb. Nobody cares.
Okay,
it's like,
now let me. First of all, I'm gonna go.
You go. I'm done.
Okay, all right. You know what? I'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so I'm not gonna completely go into the bad. I want to take you on a little bit of a journey. Okay, so let's go. Let's go with Halloween 18. All right. First of all, Laurie's been traumatized for 40 years. Mm-hmm. For what? 3 murders that pretty much affected her. 5 total for the city of Haddonfield. Right. Okay. Obviously, the podcasters come in. They want to relive it. They want to talk to her about it. Boom, and you get little snippets about what happened to her. 2 failed marriages and a relationship with her daughter that is pretty much estranged almost. Mm-hmm. All right. That movie was absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Gave you all of the essence of what Halloween was, especially the light sensor scene. Very underrated scene. Absolutely love it. All right. So for 40 years, Michael's been waiting patiently since 78 in that mental institution to get out so he can do whatever he's going to do, right? All right, first of all, James Jude, his name? Yeah, James Jude Courtney. Fantastic as freaking Michael Myers. He is now the freaking shape. That's all I'm going to say on that. All right.
I mean, he's now been turned to ooze, but, you know, hey.
Yeah, he's
ooze!
Yeah, Leatherface is serving him in a hamburger one day somewhere. All right, so now you get to Halloween Kills. Obviously, all of that event, he's burning up at the end of Halloween 18. Now, Halloween Kills takes place on the very same night. First of all, it starts with the 78 flashback, which is absolutely fantastic because you get that flashback of what Hawkins sees, takes you right back to 78. I'm telling you right now, anybody can edit 78 and add that intro of Halloween Kills to the end of 78. You got yourself a freaking badass movie. But anyway, all right. So Halloween Kills obviously starts off strong with that flashback. Okay, then it slows down because you're gonna have all of that dialogue and how it affected everybody. Mind you, 5 deaths, just 5 deaths. I'm going to keep saying that. 5 deaths in 78, but the town is reliving it.
It's a small town. 5 deaths is big.
I guess so. But anyway, so there you go, right? Then you have the whole aspect as far as Jamie Lee Curtis's, Laurie Strode and her daughter and all that relationship and all of that. Okay. Michael Myers is absolutely the most brutal version of, in Halloween Kills, he's the most brutal version ever on film.
You don't hate Halloween Kills.
You do not hate Halloween Kills. That's coming, by the way. All right. But he's still childlike in the way he poses his victims, and he poses the gay couple at the end to mimic the picture that they have of themselves. And all he wants to do basically to go home, because it even says that he never was intending to go after Laurie ever because he doesn't care about Laurie. He just wants to go home. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So there you go. Boom. Now you get to the mob scene at the end of Halloween Kills. And he is done. He already had a pitchfork to the back. He had freaking shotguns, hit with a bat. He's gotten his ass whooped. Got right back up. Epic scene, by the way.
It was an epic scene. It was like, and I love that fact because the town got their revenge.
Exactly. So the more he kills, he was getting stronger and stronger and stronger, which gave you that essence of evil, right? And how powerful it was within him. At the end of Halloween Kills, you see Michael at the very top corner staring out that room. Is that the spirit of that Michael? Is it that spirit of that Michael, of that 6-year-old kid before he got possessed or whatever, that the shape is trying to link up with his younger self? That's why he wants to go out there. That's why he wants to go back to that window. Okay, so there's that. Now, he kills the daughter. Brutally, psycho Hitchcock style, by the way. So there you go. Bam. Sets it up. What's going on? You got the freaking camera angle of him killing Karen and then going back to freaking Jamie Lee Curtis in the hospital. If you've seen the extended scene, Karen's on the ground dead. Her phone is ringing. Jamie Lee Curtis or Laurie Strode's on the other side at the hospital, and he picks up the phone. All the heavy breathing is on there, and she tells him, "I'm coming back. I'm coming after you." That's the effing setup. Mm-hmm. Where Halloween F's up, in all honesty, was it that? Yes. I think the one thing that hindered this movie the most was the time jump. I think the time jump really affected this film. And
that's a good point, because I'm used to them saying like, "Hey, let's continue the story on." Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out 4 years. What has he been doing for 4 years? So you were like, "Oh, it wasn't Halloween." Well, motherfucker, there was 4 other damn Halloweens that went by and he didn't do shit, right?
Right. Well, he killed the rats.
He killed the rats.
He was Michael Myers' killer to the rats.
And I know the homeless man, before you guys commented, the homeless man said, people go in there and, he don't let them come out. And I was like, so you had to stumble across him to kill you?
Well, that means that there should be bodies laying all over the fucking place.
There should, maybe.
All right.
Bodies. Cannibal Michael Myers.
Cannibal Mike, he ate them, exactly. All right, so anyway, boom, there's the buildup. Now, here's how it should have worked. Halloween, the day. You get the Halloween, you get the kills that happen on Halloween, same night, and then you have Halloween ends, meaning that day ends. It's over after that day. So it has to continue on that same night. It has to continue on that same night. And it has to lead to this freaking massive showdown for this to happen. The buildup was there.
She was still in the hospital, though, so they couldn't do that.
It doesn't matter. She was. That's what I'm saying. That's what's making her so fucking an awesome heroine.
She was in the hospital. Her daughter had been. It's like, I understand.
I get it.
A slight time jump, but they shouldn't have went 4 years.
Correct.
Maybe a year.
Okay, I'll give you a year.
Okay.
I'll give you a year.
Time jump would have made
I'll give you a
sense.
year. All right, that's fair.
I've healed. I'm still mourning my daughter.
I'm strong. Exactly. I'm getting stronger. And I'm going after
like, it's
you.
been 4 years. I bought a new house. I didn't set up any of the traps. That it was like, I want you still in, like, I'm gonna kill Jason mode.
Okay,
not
so
like
this is okay. So 4 years, and this is something that she says at the movie. Chasing you.
I said Jason. I meant Michael.
Chasing you. Forgiving you. Trying to chase you. Trying to forgive you. Okay, so she did that for 4 years. Understood the trauma and the paranoia that led her to lose even more. She had already lost her friends to fear. She lost her daughter to trauma and paranoia. Had none of that happened, her daughter would still be alive. Let's be real, right? Okay, so you have all of these seasons of silence, and then all of a sudden this tragedy happens, and it reignites the freaking town's paranoia and starts comparing the two.
Right.
Okay? I hated that. I did not like that at all.
I was really upset that the town blamed her for taunting him.
She had nothing to do with it.
It's like, he was murdering people. How is that my fault? He murdered my daughter. How is this my fault?
So the point with that is that, you have all of this that has happened, all this bad stuff that has happened to her, and now she's trying to forgive herself. It took her 40 years and 2 failed marriages to pretty much get her revenge as far as burning him in the house. For what? For 3 friends. It took her 4 years to get over her daughter's death. Yeah. No. It took the town.
She cared about those friends more than her daughter.
It took the town 4 years to get over their firemen dying. It took them.
Technically, they didn't get over it because they just blamed her. They just transferred their anger to her.
Right. Okay, I'll give you that. But regardless, it doesn't matter. They're still celebrating Halloween. I would celebrate that shit.
Dude, this should be a Footloose type thing. It was like, this guy's been killing on Halloween for a couple of years now, right? So let's ban Halloween. No more Halloween.
No more Halloween.
You want to go to Halloween? You go to the next town.
Exactly.
Haddonfield doesn't have Halloween.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
And we don't need Michael Myers coming back as Kevin Bacon, and he's trying to to show them
how to celebrate Halloween. This is how you trick or treat kids on the bleachers.
So that whole buildup was ruined, in my opinion, by the 4-year time jump. And after that, there was no sense of continuation on this. And there is absolutely no way that you can have a Halloween film and not feature Michael Myers. He is the main antagonist of every single freaking Halloween. You can't have a Friday the 13th without Jason, part 5. Good kills, not the same. You can't have a Nightmare on Elm Street without Freddy Krueger. 2010 remake, not the same. And even though that was actually Freddy Krueger. Yeah, he's this little. Anyway. But
Freddy was never tall.
He was 6'3". I think he's 5'11", 6 feet tall. Anyway, regardless, is you cannot have these iconic franchise and not feature the main antagonist of the movie. You cannot.
I'm okay as long as it's not the defining end to that particular character.
You cannot do that. Now, if they're gonna go this route, then Corey should have survived through the whole freaking thing, gotten his ass whooped by Michael Myers, gone through wherever, because the junkyard was his family's junkyard, right? And mechanic shop. It was his, so that means that he had every right to be there. So he would have survived that fight, And then somehow he finally gives in to his evil, and at the end, whether it's a post-credit or at the end, he becomes the new shape. With her voiceover saying the evil takes many shapes. And then the voiceover flashes, and boom, it's him attacking Allison when they move out of town. Okay. The point is that you have everything there for you to actually continue the story if you want, or continue the shape. But you have to have Michael Myers be the freaking main antagonist in this movie. There's no freaking way you cannot have him sidelined. Give him 2 kills in his own movie.
Carla came up with a good point. She was like, history will say that he didn't kill anybody. Because who's going to be blamed?
Corey.
Michael Myers.
Oh, Michael Myers. You're right. He will never be blamed for any of this stuff. So basically, they're the only ones that know
who the real killer.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, so Michael Myers took the credit for all of that stuff. So all this things.
So it made his story so pointless. So pointless. But also too, I had it and I lost it. I was so worked up about it. It was
okay, well, let me talk about the thing that you were saying about. Now, there were some beautiful moments, and this is what people are saying, that the beautiful moment was her actually holding his hand before he's dying. First of all, Michael Myers ain't gonna go out like that. He would never go out like that. He would have freaking smacked. He would have pimp slapped both of them, and it would have been
here till you die. But when you die, I'm gonna mutilate you. I'm basically gonna throw you in a car crusher, and then we're gonna ride your body through the streets and stuff.
Now,
ride your bodies through the streets, and then we're gonna car crush you.
One. You're not gonna freaking parade him like that. And if you are gonna parade him on top of the freaking roof, hold on, Harry and Henderson style, then you're gonna do it just them 2 only, and Corey in the back seat, according to my narrative. Mm-hmm. With Corey in the back seat, the 2 girls, and Michael Myers on top. Okay? No cops, nobody, just them going to the junkyard.
Kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
When they go to bury Freddy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Dream Warriors, best one. Anyway, exactly. And then,
once again, this guy's been watching way too many damn horror films, so he's just like, I'm gonna take that. That sounds good.
And then the chase, the wounds after being wounded and chased, he somehow ends up on the thing. They turn it on. He dies like that. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with him dying like that after the chase, after the fight, after whatever. And, freaking Terminator style, Sarah Connor trying to hit the freaking thing on the side. I'm okay with that. Them doing a ceremonial healing where past victims are walking side by side like it's a fucking funeral and all. No, that is not. And then you just throw him in there and he's just, and yeah, no. That was just freaking, that was just, no. You don't do that to a freaking horror icon, dude. Okay, and here's another thing that I hated.
So once again, this film also couldn't tell me if he was supernatural or if this was more real world.
Well, that whole thing with the more he kills, the more he kills, the stronger he is. Yeah. He did what he did to that mob and those firemen. Like, he should be fucking unstoppable.
Right.
And if you're talking about, well, 4-year time jump, he hasn't killed anybody. How do we know that? You don't know that? We don't know anything.
No, I know he killed the homeless.
I'd be killing the bums.
No, that's what they said.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
But if that's the case, that was the other thing I wanted to bring up. I was like, if that's the case, how does Corey overwhelm him?
How does Corey steal his mask?
Exactly. And it was like he had the whole fight with Corey, and then he gets into another fight and then, granted, he was shot. He was shot twice, so maybe he wasn't as strong. But I'm just like, hey, Corey could handle him in the sewer. Why are we struggling with him? And it's like, Corey was like, hey, dude, give me your mask. I'm going to take off. And Michael's like, all right, cool. I'm going to get that later. Basically, Corey deboed Michael. And he was like, what mask?
What mask? Oh, no.
Pop said, I'm going to need my mask back.
He be tripping. Pops be tripping, man. He was ask for my mask back. Yeah.
What mask?
Yeah, you're right. What mask?
So, I mean, it's like, I was upset with that. I was upset with the fact that the mob attacked him and then they couldn't beat him. She stabbed him a couple times and that was it. She didn't even stab him in the head. Just stabbed him a couple times. It was like, she was like, I've been taking some medicine classes. I know where your vital points are. I'm going to stick you up here and boom, boom, and you're going to be done. You're going to bleed out and die. All the crap that he survived the fire. He survived being look, all that stuff, and just a couple stabs take him down. That's like
correct. So and now you're gonna pin me down with a fridge.
And that's why I said, I was like, is he supernatural or is this real world? Because real world, okay, yeah, that dude dies there, but that dude also dies in Halloween Kills. So if he's supernatural, then he should have did his little raise up thing. I mean, after Corey deboed him, he raised up and he moved on. And it was
how about this? Going back again to what I was saying, if first of all, let me just...
By the way, this Bats is going a long time.
Say it again?
I said this Bats is going a long time.
Yes, it is. And it's expected, by the way. That's why it's on YouTube. How about this? Yeah, you killed 4 teenagers in that junkyard, but you're doing this ceremony passing the same junkyard, and there's 2 dead girls in the front in the entrance of that movie.
I didn't realize that. They all just drove past.
They drove past all these dead kids. Like, oh, they're cool.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Stuff.
It's like, it's the same, because they highlight Corey's bike.
It is the same. Oh my God. I never realized.
Yeah, so you gotta, so they ran over the same chick on the gate, and then they freaking, what was that? Oh, this is kid. Oh, he's got a drumstick in his eye. Hey, he's all right. Hey, let's dump this guy.
Somebody left that blowtorch on over there. Somebody
damn. Woo, they fucked him up. Anyway, yeah, let's dump this guy.
It smells like hair burning.
So a lot of things honestly did not make sense. It's I think honestly.
And this is the same writer from the first 2?
Yes, they actually added 2 additional writers to help with this. Now, here's the thing that I'm concerned about too, is that if you are, I want to say Malika Akkad, who actually took this from his father. I think that's his name. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. He's looking at this. He's in charge of this franchise. He looks at this script. I'm asking, where the fuck is Michael Myers?
Yes.
Like, well, I don't.
This is exactly what was going on with Mahershala Ali with Blade.
Where's? Oh, the Vision. Oh, you're trying to pay homage. That's fantastic. We'll do that in the next one. If this was part 4,
yeah,
it would be perfect.
Minus Michael Myers.
Minus Michael Myers. It would be fantastic. It would be fantastic if this was a part 4. It would be a
great way to start a new sequel, a new trilogy.
Yep. And
going on without Michael Myers.
Right. And guess what? They're saying it's Michael Myers, but it's not to us and to everybody. He's advertised as the Shape. Mm-hmm. It might be Corey in there, but it's the Shape. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the route too that they were going because evil just changes shape.
Right.
That's what it was. But regardless,
that's what I kept saying.
But regardless, yeah. This would have been better as a completely different movie.
Yes.
And I
would have been happy with it as like you said, as
a part 4.
Part 5.
Part 4 or 5, whatever it is.
No,
but
like part 5.
Part 5, yeah, you're right.
As part 5, I would have been fine with it. But it's like, okay, cool, that's how they're going to do this. They're going to bring him back like this way. Boom. Got it.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Great.
They literally should have just made Corey Michael Myers.
I don't blame
I mean, not make him Michael Myers, but just make his character would have just been, no, I'm like you said, we move this to the next film, and it's just like all the kills, it's just Michael Myers running around. It's just Michael Myers running around. They're trying to fix their relationship, minus her mother, blah, blah. She didn't need a boyfriend. Really? It's just like, aren't you traumatized? Your mom died. And it's like, I don't care if it's been 4 years. Aren't you traumatized? Your daughter died. It's like,
how about this?
Fix your relationship.
The
town hates you.
Your mom and your dad died.
Yeah, the town hates you. It's like, talk more about that stuff. She didn't need a love story.
No, there was no need for a love story here.
And by the way, and as I'm looking about it, I was like, that's the guy you go for?
You
go for that guy?
So David Gordon Green was basically.
Oh wait, one more thing. Sorry,
okay, go ahead. Go ahead. It's fine.
Who gets bullied by the band kids?
Get the hell out of my face before you freaking about call your mama.
I sat there and I was like, oh wait, he's gonna get bullied by the band kids? When did the band kids become the tough guys in this neighborhood? I said the band kids are like this.
I'm gonna take this drumstick out of your head. Keep on messing with me.
I was really blown away. I was like, the band kids?
The band kids. I mean, even the freaking John Travolta lookalike on freaking on Christine. Even that group was tougher than that shit.
Oh my god. All right, so that was my last part.
All right. Well, okay. What I was gonna say was David Gordon Green pretty much stated that he understands and all that, but he also stated that what he wanted to do was bring in a love story, and he wanted to completely not give you something that was cliche and all of that. I think this was a big up fu to everybody that talks shit about Halloween Kills, and he gave you this. Now this is supposed to mimic the first 3 Halloweens if you really think about it. Halloween 18, Halloween 1. Halloween Kills is Halloween 2. She's in the freaking hospital again. All right. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. This is basically a Michael Myers movie.
This is going to be the one that everybody hates.
Yeah. Until later down the road. But if you were going to give me that, then give me Tom Atkins. Give me Stacey Nelkin to come out. Give me them guys to come out in this movie.
I mean, at least with Halloween Season of the Witch, they just did something completely different. They were like, okay, that's over. We're doing something completely different. This, they were like, oh crap, we gotta wrap up that Michael Myers thing. So then they had to throw him back in there. Just continue to give me something completely different. I applaud people who do something different. And you guys couldn't go all the way. Y'all had to go like, let's bring Michael back. Just a little bit. Just bring him back.
I don't mind anybody doing anything different either, but let it fit the narrative from the previous movie. Let it continue the story
all they had
of
to say,
that
all they
movie.
had to say is that, let's say they still kill Corey at the end, right? And he's Michael Myers. They kill Corey at the end. And they're doing an investigation of the murders, and they find the old man murdered and stuff like that. And they go into the tunnels, they find Michael dead. They find Michael dead and decayed. And then they tell you, like, he's been dead this whole time. Corey just found him. It's been a whole thing in his brain. He took a lot of punishment. Maybe he just died. If this is real world Michael Myers, he just died. That's his end. That's the end of his story.
Okay.
I would have been so much happier with that. That's the end of his story.
What about the passing the evil?
I mean, the passing of the evil is that he stumbled across him, and the dude was already struggling with his whole mental state to begin with. He accidentally killed a little kid when he was a babysitter. The town hated him, called him a murderer from that beginning.
Ooh, I love it.
He stumbled across him, and then he was like, if you call me a murderer, I found an actual murderer, I'm gonna take that title, and now I'm gonna be a real murderer.
How about this? They report the body. It's at night. This is towards the end of the movie. Michael's fighting Laurie at the end, and then boom, comes back. Officers are finding the dead homeless. Look in the sewer. Michael's been dead the whole time.
Yeah.
She's been fighting Corey this whole time, and he's the new shape. Boom, it's done.
And then he pops at the end. He I don't know. He unzips his body bag or something. Or they go back in the house. Oh yeah,
he's gone. Like resurrection. Like probably resurrection. They figure that his eyes fucking open.
No, it's like she leaves out of the house, calls the flag down the cops. I got him. I got the shape here, and then he's gone. And then you continue on, and then now it's a new person.
There you go.
And that's all you gotta do.
There you go.
And it's like Michael Myers
Hollywood.
died.
Check.
He
Goods.
died.
We
like you said, Halloween ended. So did he. He died that night. The punishment from the people, even though he got away and he killed some other people, he just died. He died. We move on.
Well, here's the missing part, and you want to talk about what's going further, and that is, she had 2 failed marriages. Laurie Strode did. She had 2 failed marriages. So who's to say that other one was not Jamie Lloyd's dad, and Jamie Lloyd and Danielle Harris come back, and that's how you extend that. What do you think?
Okay. No, that's cool. Actually, that actually really is. Hollywood, can you reach out to us?
Yeah, just reach out to us.
I mean, it's it's a good channel at gmail.com, and it's like I read all the emails, so it's like you send us stuff. We'll work it out, dude. I'll workshop it with you. I'll tell you nah, this is trash.
Look, overall as a standalone, the movie was okay. As a Halloween film, it was not very good. It could have been a lot better. I think it just built you up and marketed to expect something, and you walk out of it completely shortchanged. And you did not get what you paid for. So in that regard,
I feel like Barbarian.
It was bad. I will give credit where credit is due. That fucking poster is awesome. I love that poster. I will hang that poster forever. That poster is amazing. So Terrence, take us home.
Oh God, it was a little exhausting, but I had to get all of that stuff off.
Overall, overall it was okay, but it could have been better.
I mean, but the movie, the movie was not good. I will forever stand. I was like, I did not like that movie. It's not a good Halloween movie. I hate The Curse of Michael Myers. This was really close. And even though this should have been the new Curse of Michael Myers.
Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 still has the worst for me. Sorry. Okay.
So once again, we're talking about people hating Halloween Kills. No, you don't. There's other Halloween films.
No, you don't hate Halloween Kills no more.
There's so many other Halloween films that you can hate before you hate Halloween Kills.
Before you send us home, I posted a tweet, and you can look it up at The Goods Podcast on Twitter. I posted a picture of the fire scene when he's approaching the fire and he's got the fire poker, whatever he's got in his hand. And I have a new appreciation for Halloween Kills.
Dude, I didn't like I had no problem with Halloween Kills. I was absolutely saying, okay, cool. I want to see where they go with this. I just wanted to see where they went with it.
Look,
because at that point, at the end of Halloween Kills, I was like, okay, they're making him supernatural. I'm fine with that. We started off with him being real world, and then they made him supernatural by the end of Halloween Kills. And I was like, cool, we're going back to supernatural. and then they did this bullshit, and I was like, this is not what I want.
Okay, well, but what I was gonna say was that, you know, I posted that picture and that thing is almost at over 200 likes. That's how many people now appreciate Halloween Kills. So guess what's coming up next? Halloween Kills. You don't hate that movie. Terrence, take us home.
Guys, make sure you subscribe as well as click the notification button so that way you're aware of all the other videos that we do on this. We got more reviews. We still haven't done Hellraiser, which I may do if you don't do it after all. But also too, make sure you go get some merch from Teespring or Amazon.com. As you go to Amazon, it's a lot faster. Make sure you buy some merch so that way support the channel.
All right, for Aspen, Art, Terrence, well, Terrence is right here,
yes.
and Carla, I'm Manny, and we'll see you next time.
Guys, you're still with us? Great. I know it's the end of the year, and I know you guys are in the holiday spirit, the spirit of giving, right? So we're asking you to give us money. So if you look down below, you'll see where it says patreon.com/thegoods. Right there is if you have an excess amount of cash laying around. If you have not bought enough Christmas presents and you're wondering, who else can I bring joy to this year? Us. That's who you can bring joy to. Have you ever looked at us and you're like, man, they should get a better camera? You're right, because we don't have enough money to. You can help us do that. Patreon.com/thegoods. Help us out. We'd appreciate it. And you can be a part of the goods yourself.